15 minutes, we'll be building up to the weekend sporting action while chasing the headlines that will shape the debates and the discussions over the weekend. Well, first off, though, we do our English Premier League build-up right here on Sports Preview. And the English Premier League continues this weekend with the first game at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow. Brighton and Hove Albion take on Chelsea, and at 3 p.m. a number of games take place. Arsenal play Crystal Palace, and Arsenal have been hit with the transfer saga of the year, I should say, already in 2018, with Alexis Sanchez expected to depart Arsenal before tomorrow. Now, Arsene Wenger has ruled out a possible exit of Mesut Ozil, who's also been rumoured to be considering a move outside Arsenal this transfer window. And he says Ozil is still going to be around in February when the transfer window is over.
In February? Yes, of course.
So no move out in January for Ozil?
No.
Has this been the most stressful period the last couple of weeks?
I don't know. I have no stress measurement at all, but it is, of course, it has been very, it occupies you on the pitch, off the pitch, and at night as well, because you're very busy. After that, I think I can deal with the kind of stress it creates, and the experience I have helps me to focus on what is important and at the right moment. So we have to very quickly get over this transfer period, because for us especially this period has been more disturbing than ever. Because why? Because we have big players who are at the end of their contract, and that's the first time it happens. But we have so influential players who have close to the end of their contract, and it has been more destabilizing than ever.
That was Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger there. And as you know, the English Premier League is live exclusively here on Love 99.5. And our first featured game tomorrow will be at 3 p.m. with Manchester United away to Burnley. And we can now hear from Jose Mourinho, the Manchester United manager, as he seems to confirm Alexis Sanchez is heading over to Old Trafford and could possibly play a part in the game this weekend or next weekend.
Clearly, everybody knows that we are there, and especially when Arsenal manager speaks so clearly, like he did, there is no point in trying to hide or to deny. But not done at all. So in this moment, Mkhitaryan, our player, Sanchez, Arsenal player, and with the match tomorrow, I want to switch off and to focus on what is the most important thing, which is the match tomorrow. Sometimes people think the transfers involved a lot. The managers in the negotiations, I think, depends on the profile of club, depends on the way we establish our jobs. And in my case, when it goes to the table of negotiations, I like to be out. I'm out. And I will just be calmly waiting for news, no more than that.
Well, Jose Mourinho bringing us up to speed with the latest on Alexis Sanchez's potential move to Manchester United. Now, what will this mean for smaller clubs like Burnley, who Manchester United play tomorrow? Sean Dyche is a Burnley manager. Here are his thoughts.
There is a tougher challenge, definitely, because every time one of the superpowers spends enormous money on a player, you do realise that drip feeds down through the market. So every player you then phone about has miraculously gone considerably up in value, because they'll look and say, well, if he's worth that, that doesn't mean our player's as good as that, but it means he must be somewhere near as good as that on a sliding scale. So where does the next move for us come from? You know, what does that mean for us? Where's the next valuation on one of our players, or one of our targets, that we're going to? So I think it does drip down in a different way, not just physically trying to get players who can handle the Premier League and win games, but also in the market side of things when you're attempting to go and get them players who you think can do that.
And also at 3 p.m, Everton play against West Bromwich Albion, and Theo Walcott could play a part in that game after signing for the Toffees in midweek. The former Arsenal man is clearly itching to play alongside former England mate Wayne Rooney, and for Sam Allardyce, who revealed were major inspirations behind his move. And he also talked about how quickly he packed his stuff in bin bags to leave Arsenal and make himself ready for Everton ahead of the weekend game.
When I found that I was coming here, I had to go there at night just to pick up all my stuff in all bin bags. So it was quite honestly so surreal.
For you,
yeah.
I've had a few of those. Thanks for your service.
No, but I've I'm sure.
Sneak in, sneak out.
I'm sure. After talking to the gaffer, I'm sure I'll get some time to go down. I've had so many messages to try and catch up with people, and it's been very overwhelming, but slowly but surely getting through those messages. But I will at some point go back there and do my proper goodbyes, because I feel like that'll be the right way to do it. But we do play him very soon as well, which I'm looking forward to. I'm very excited to my new chapter really, and felt this is the right place for me to be with obviously the manager who's very ambitious. I feel like the club's going in the right direction. There's a lot of players that are coming in, and it's attractive for me, and I had numerous chats with Wayne as well, and that was one massive key factor. I think that really tempted.
And at 3 p.m. also tomorrow, Leicester City play against Watford, with Stoke City playing against Huddersfield Town. West Ham United, I should say, also play AFC Bournemouth at 3 p.m. Then our second featured game on Saturday will be Manchester City's home game against Newcastle United. Well, City may have lost their first game of the season, but they have also lost their target apparently to Manchester United in this transfer window, and Pep Guardiola expects Sanchez to join United and says there are no hard feelings between himself and the player.
What I know right now, it's still Arsenal players. Alexis I think is going to go to United. So congratulations for both of them. So at the end, the players, when they have contenders, decide where they want to play. Him and their managers decide where they want to play. They decide that. Good luck.
You've spoken previously about the trust, the bond you have with Alexis Sanchez. Do you feel at all let down that he's chosen to go to the rivals across the city and not come here?
I repeat the same. So the players and their managers decide what is the best for both of them. So there's nothing to add. So my opinion on Alexis remained the same. So it was a pleasure to be with him in Barcelona, and he is going to decide to move on another club. I wish him all the best.
Well, Arsenal have just hit City where they really feel it, because they just got their invincible record intact, and also their player not going over to City. How hard can it be? But then on Sunday, Southampton play Tottenham Hotspur in the English Premier League at 4 p.m. That game will also be live here exclusively on Love 99.5. Now, Spurs boss Mauricio Pochettino expects defender Toby Alderweireld to be ready soon, but not soon enough to play a part in the visit to the St. Mary's.
I think maybe if today all is okay with him, maybe tomorrow he can integrate himself in some exercise with the group, and a little bit step by step to build his fitness to be available again. But tomorrow, not next week, if all is good about today with the scanner.
Could the FA Cup next weekend, would that be a good opportunity maybe?
Maybe, because we are going to have all the week to training, and we'll see if he can arrive in good condition to play. We are going to assess day by day next.
Mauricio Pochettino is a Tottenham Hotspur manager, but Liverpool are not in action until Monday night when they visit Swansea at the Liberty Stadium. And Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp has refused to rule out more transfers at Anfield this January.
If there are any rumors, I'm not aware of that, but it's not too important, so we will see what happens until the 31st. But of course, what I can say is we have a long and very decisive part of the season still to play, so we cannot only, I said it a few times, in this part of the season, in this transfer window, it looks always like the season is already over and everybody who didn't play often enough wants to leave then or stuff like that, but we still have games to play and we need all the players from. We will see how it will be at the 31st, but nothing else to say about that.
Are you actively still looking to bring anyone in at all? I mean, Coutinho obviously, is there a like-for-like possibility that you're actively looking for in this window, or Are you happy to just let things go as they are?
Well, I think that the answer for something like that, if something, I don't know, will jump in my face or whatever, then maybe we think about it. But no, we don't actively.
Well, that game will also be live here on Monday night during Monday Night Sports. Let's move on and talk about some local matters. And Asante Kotoko coach Steve Pollack insists he's got a good squad ahead of their CAF Confederation Cup and League campaign, despite the exit from the G8 tournament. Now, fans of the team and some pundits were unconvinced with the output of Pollack's team and questioned some of the signings the club has made. The Irishman, however, maintains his squad can do the job.
We have a good group of players. I don't just take players in without checking out who they are first. I'm one of these, like, I listen to the radio and go, oh, he's a great player. Oh, yeah, let's sign him. I'm not one of those. I need to see the player as I've seen him, as I've seen Sila before he signed, as I've seen him he signed. I remember Daniel from Adriana. So I know these players. Some of them I don't know, and I have to look at them. So, what I do, I recommend to my management, I say, look, I want this player to stay. Then they just have to make sure they can negotiate and hopefully they find a good compensation for both sides.
Well, I'm sure you've got your thoughts on this one. Do keep them, do keep them, because you can share them tomorrow on kickoff at 7 a.m. or between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. when we bring you an extended breakfast sports show there. And we can now talk about the GFA and the executive committee member of the Ghana FA, Wilfred Osekwe, who wants the ethics committee of the FA to drop its reactionary approach to dealing with issues. Mr. Osekwe was recently directed to apologize for comments he made about the sports ministry or the failure of the Black Stars to qualify for Russia 2018 by the ethics committee. Now, after issuing his apology, the Tema Youth FC president wants the committee to be proactive.
The ethics committee should also be proactive in the sense that more may in fact only comments being made by members to be the job of the ethics committee here. There are so many things that the ethics committee can also do, especially when certain allegations are made against the FA or any member. That means if you say be a marco or friend and competition marco misconduct, let us do those kind of jobs too.
All right, so all of that on kickoff tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. But before we go, let's do a quick update from the Australian Open and world number 7. Jelena Ostapenko was beaten by Estonia's Anett Kontaveit in the third round of the Australian Open. The French Open champion suffered a 6-3, 1-6-6-3 defeat by the world number 33 in 1 hour and 53 minutes. Also, Nick Kyrgios kept home hopes very much alive in the men's singles at the Australian Open with victory over Francis Wilfried Tsonga. And we'll talk more about this also between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. tomorrow. Will be kickoff, but for now, it's the drive that kicks off, and it kicks off with the news at 4 with KWESI DEBRAH. My name is KOFI ASARE, and on 3 after 5 today on the drive, they are asking you to choose between Wizkid and Davido. Wow, what a duo. All right, enjoy yourself, and do stay tuned to Love 99.5. My name is KOFI ASARE, and you can call me the Sports Minister.
Back up your files in the office, turn off the computers, and step into a fun-filled drive with Ruben. Never question greatness.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Love Headline News at 4. Coming up, communities in Lake Bosomchi area benefit from free medical screening and also baked beans, a staple on government's food security agenda. My name is KWESI DEBRAH. Thank you for joining us. Crops Research Institute is recommending government incorporate baked beans into the national food security agenda. Director Dr. Stella Abba Enimbili said to reduce the influx of imported brands and the attendant economic implication on Ghana. She was speaking at the stakeholder forum held in Kumasi by the West and Central Africa Bean Research Network.
And at this stage, we are inviting others to see the bean as a potential, especially in the government's policy of one district, one factory. Look at the amount of big beans that are imported. You have no idea. It is so huge. All the hotels are using it. All the fast food joints by the roadside are all using imported big beans. We are saying that we have worked together with the Women in Agricultural Development, that is Riyadh of Mofa, and you can see from the exhibition that big beans have been developed and processed here. So people can go into this, process it as part of the one district, one factory.
The West and Central Africa Bean Research Network is partnering Pan-Africa Bean Research Alive under the bean value chain. Countries like Cameroon are receiving support from the Canadian government to increase production. Robin Munkara is Director of Pan-African Research Alive.
It's done under partnership in West Africa, West and Central Africa, of what we call the WECA brain. And the WECA brain is a partnership of a number of countries who work together, collaborate, share information, share their experiences to improve the production, the marketing, and the use of beans. So it's under these arrangements that we are discussing on how to promote these efforts in this region.
Robin Munkara is Director of Pan-Africa Research Alive. Over 1,000 residents of Abono and other communities in the Lake Bosomtwe area of the Ashanti region are benefiting from free medical screening. The Ghana Association for Medical Aid is examining people for conditions such as blood pressure, diabetes, and glaucoma. As early as 8 a.m. on the first of the 4-day exercise, hundreds had lined up waiting for the team. It's the second destination after attending to close to 2,000 health seekers at KWESI in the Eastern region. A US-based group formed 6 years ago puts premium on preventive medicine.
My name is Akosia Sewa Buadu. I am the Vice President for Ghana Association for Medical Aid. We are based in New Jersey. It's just a group of friends who are in the medical field that we decided to come together to help our community. So basically, we do a lot of teachings in churches in New Jersey and New York area. We started doing this because we realized that a lot of Ghanaians, our own people, end up coming to America and they end up coming back in caskets.
Doctors were worried about late reporting of ailments to hospital for treatment as well as irregular checkup. People who were screened for eye defects received glasses and medication for free. Children, many of them with ringworm infestation and allergies, had their share of care.
So my name is Dr. Andrew Badu. I'm a nephrologist. I'm also an internist. I'm from the U.S. The thing that we found most of the time is that most of the patients have the disease of high blood pressure, diabetes, but that's a disease that you see everywhere. Unfortunately, the most troublesome issue is that people don't know how to go seek for help. They don't know that they are sick. They don't have the initiative to go for the preventative care.
Yes, my name is Dr. Winston Scott. I'm an eye physician and surgeon, an ophthalmologist. And I'm also a founding member and president of the Caribbean Medical Mission. Cataracts is very prevalent. Unfortunately, a lot of the cases are very advanced and need to be surgically treated.
Usually, beneficiaries will be given prescription to buy drugs, but on this occasion, they got them together with food supplements at no cost. Let's do some international news. Pope Francis has triggered anger in Chile after accusing victims of a pedophile priest of slander. Francis said there was no proof for their claims that the abuse by Father Fernando Caradima had been covered up by another man, Bishop Juan Barros. Quote, there's not one single piece of proof against him, that's Bishop Barros, and it's all slander. Is that clear? The Pope said. One Caradima victim said the Pope's earlier plea for forgiveness over clerical sex abuse was empty. The Pope made these comments on Thursday before celebrating Mass outside the city of Iquique in northern Chile. A security bug that has infected thousands of smartphones has been uncovered by campaign group the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Working with mobile security firm Lookout, researchers discovered that the malware in fake messaging designed to look like WhatsApp and Signal has stolen gigabytes of data. Targets included military personnel, activists, journalists, and lawyers. Researchers say they traced the malware to a Lebanese government building. The threat, dubbed Dark Caracal by researchers, looks as if it could come from a nation-state and appears to use shared infrastructure linked to other nation-state hackers. The malware takes advantage of known exploits and targets mainly Android phones. And that's how we end the Love Headline News at 4. My name is KWESI DEBRAH.
What's good, Davido? Who has got your votes ahead of 3 after 5?
Davido. David.
Get on any of our social media platforms, like or follow us, and vote in your favorite artist. I mean, who you'd want to enjoy 3 songs back to back from later today on 3 after 5. Good evening, and welcome to your More Music Drive.
You're rocking with the best.
Drive.